That's right, it's one voice, one sound, BacchanalRadio.com. Once again, I want to remind you, this is Rose on a Monday, and yeah, I duck work today and tomorrow, and I'm going to be back in work and school on Wednesday. At this point in time, I'm super excited to have a guest co-host in the studio, someone I'm very familiar with. He is very professional, very talented, and we filmed a few videos for YouTube. And hopefully you guys can check that out. And on ReadySetRose.com, I share all of his exclusive recipes. And I would like to say welcome to Chef Jason, visiting from Trinidad and Tobago.
Wow, what an intro like that. I mean, after that, what am I supposed to say? I have the Queen of Bacchanal in my presence. I'm live and direct on Bacchanal Radio to the millions and millions of listeners around the world. And even special, today is a Monday. And I know that everyone has the Monday blues. But for some reason, everything just got bright and shiny. It's going to be a bright, shiny day now that you're back on for me from 12 to 3 here. We're going to have so much fun right here.
You know what? From the moment I found out that you were going to be here on a Monday, I said, listen, I'm taking that shift. We have to do a show together because I think the chemistry that we share, you know, doing the videos and just speaking, I think it was so brilliant. And Big Daddy loved it. DJ Roy loved it. They're like, yes, go ahead.
That's great. I mean, I always love to do videos with you, whether it be the cooking videos, and I mean, people revere that you have you're such a pioneer in entertainment and hosting and so forth like that. And your listeners on Bacchanal Radio, you have a great following. And I know that for us teaming up and doing these joint ventures would have been something really special, intrinsic, and as well very powerful. And it's brilliant that we got together and we did these great pieces. And right now I'm in New York City. I came here for the Curry Festival yesterday at Maracas Nightclub, and you know, you came to it, it was good vibes, everyone enjoyed it, we bubbled up some great dishes yesterday. So I'm privileged that you asked me to come on the Monday show. I don't know if this was the reason you duck work, because I mean, if somebody duck work to have me on the radio, that's a great privilege, but nevertheless, it's great to be in your presence here and to all your listeners around the world. My name is Chef Jason, and I'm a chef. You probably know me from my Chutney Soca song, Also Bubble With Me, and I'm from Trinidad and Tobago, as I mentioned, and back in Trinidad and Tobago I am a television chef, so you can check me out on the local stations and so forth like that. In addition, I do food styling, I'm a food consultant also.
But wait, first and foremost, I want to know what qualifies you to be a chef?
You know, a lot of people ask me that question, what quantifies you to become a chef? Well, you know, you gotta have the education. In anything that you're doing, you gotta have the education. Whether you be an accountant, whether you be a lawyer, you gotta have the education to back it up, so you know the know-how, the ins and outs. So I actually studied to become a chef. I did it for 6 years and so forth. But what makes you or defines you as a chef? More or less two aspects I want to get into. You see, imagination and creation. It helps you and makes you go a long way. The second aspect is experience. After working in hotels, restaurants, and so forth like that, and building up that repertoire, that reputation, you can then don yourself as being a chef. Because yes, when you come out of culinary school and you say, well, I'm a chef, technically yes and no, but the experience comes with it. And in any job that you Rose, I mean, you're so brilliant on the radio yourself. To call yourself a host or an exceptional host comes after years of experience, and anybody in any creative field or so forth like that, or even skill, they need to really harness all of that experience and that energy, and to be down that avenue and that road to say that, you know, I've seen this and I could make judgment calls. So I think a lot of creativity, imagination, creative process, as well as education is really important.
Well, I definitely want to say that Trinidad and Tobago, you acquired a scholarship at the age of 17.
Yes.
And you attended Johnson & Wales University in Miami, the culinary school. And I think at age 17 to acquire all of that really shows that you know what you wanted to do from a young age.
From a tender age, or maybe like, I always tell the story, maybe like 10, 11 years old. I was a very fat kid, chubby kid, you know, I loved to eat. Food was my passion.
Right.
But keyword passion. And I
mean, I love to eat too, you know that.
Yeah. But the thing about it is that I really love to eat to the point where I was getting really, really fat. I mean, went to school and so forth, and you know, obviously a little tease now and then about being a little chubby and so forth, and it really reminded me that even though I love food, living a healthy lifestyle is very important. And at this point in time, I wanted to channel my process in terms of being a chef, but at the same time, doing meals that are health conscious. And I went to culinary school with that passion to do that. And It came natural to me, Rose. I always tell people, some people study, and yes, that's all well and fine, but it seems like I was put on this earth to become a chef because it just naturally was just like, wow, I'm doing so well at it. And then I got this scholarship. I got 3 scholarships, in fact. I got one from the local bodies in Trinidad and Tobago. I did one from the government and also from Johnson & Wales. And then that's when I attended Johnson & Wales University in Miami, Florida. And I did an additional, because I had an associate degree before in culinary management. I did an associate degree in culinary arts as well as a bachelor's in sciences degree in culinary arts.
Very nice. And, let's touch on music a little bit. When you were in Miami for those 2 years studying, you were kind of homesick. I mean, unlike me, I've been here most of my life. And one of the ways for you to get in touch with, the culture back home was listening to music. And that's of the chutney soca, the soca. And I think that's where you developed your passion for music so much.
You are so right. You hit the nail on the head right there. I mean, there's a saying that you say you don't appreciate your culture until you've actually moved away from that.
I like that new word, movement.
Yeah. I'm moving away from it.
But you know what, we're going to touch more on that. We were here until 3 o'clock.
Oh, yeah.
I want you to take a sip of water. I know we've been chatting. And we're going to be talking about the dishes you made yesterday. And all the guests at Club Maracas were able to have them for free, complimentary, which was a plus. And that's tandoori wings, curry chicken curry for the Guyanese.
Yeah. I met a lot of Guyanese yesterday, so they corrected me.
Yes, and I want to say hi going out to Joanne in Texas. She's saying, howdy, chef. I'm coming for some curry.
From Texas?
Yes.
She got some steak for me? Oh.
Hi, Joanne. And I want to say hi going out to George in Philly. Good to hear you during the day. Diane and George, they were listening last Friday.
Really?
And he's saying, Bacchanal is here all day at work. And I want to send a shout out to Cosby here at Spring Dance Fixin' Spa. So hi going out to Cosby. That's coming from George and all of us here at Bacchanal Radio. So once again, I want to remind you, Chef Jason from Trinidad and Tobago, who's only in New York till tomorrow, is guest hosting. And we've got a great lineup of music for you. And I want you guys to keep on sending your shouts. Also, hi.
Yeah, let me hear what you guys are saying.
Oh yes, and if you want any cooking tips, anything, you can ask Chef
Jason. You can ask me anything today.
Please go ahead.
I'm here at your disposal.
He said, listen, Rose, no limit. They can ask me anything. So anything you ever tried, maybe pertaining to cooking, and you wonder why is it not working out, he's the master. He'll help you out. So it is Rose and Jason on Bacchanal. We're going to get back to music. Hello, Tisha D. I don't like talking too much. Let's see how we sound. In New York till tomorrow.
Yes.
Is guest hosting, and we've got a great lineup of music for you. And I want you guys to keep on sending your shouts. Also, hi.
Yeah, let me hear what you guys are saying.
Oh yes, and if you want any cooking tips, anything, you can ask Chef Jason.
Ask me anything.
Please go ahead.
I'm here at your disposal.
He said, listen, Rose, no limit. They can ask me anything. So anything you ever tried, maybe pertaining to cooking, and you wonder why is it not working out, he's the master. He'll help you out. So it is Rose and Jason on Bacchanal. We're going to get... And that's right, folks. It is BacchanalRadio.com, and we had to pause for a good cause because the music in the background is by Chef Jason Peru. It is called Bubble With Me, and it is pausing for a great cause. Hi, everyone out there. He's just making a video. He's all about videos. But this next particular song, it is called Bubble With Me, and it's all about bubbling with Chef Jason Peru, and he's going to tell us all about how he came up with this particular idea and why he started singing. If you were locked on from the very beginning, you would have found out that when he went away to study in Miami for 2 years, he felt very homesick. He was there alone, and it started him to make him realize, listen, I miss home, I miss my culture, and I want to hear all the new latest chutney music that they have. Forget about, other genres. It is a way of him, feeling like back home and keeping him company. And I remember last year when he told me, Rose, I'm thinking about creating a song. I'm like, you singing? Well, Chef Jason, take it over. Tell us about this.
I remember. It started off
Please
with.
talk in the mic.
It's amazing when you see you finish one task and you say what's next. And I remember I did my master's exam yesterday, and I was like last year, sorry, and I was like, good, I feel good. That's off the list. What else I want to do?
Check.
And everybody always say, I'm cooking on television and I'm always singing chutney music and so forth. When I was going to say, boy, why don't you just go and sing your own song? Then you could then sing your own music while you're cooking.
Right.
I was like, nah, don't worry about it. And then one day after the exam, I was like, you know what? I feel like I want to do this song. And I always knew that when I wanted to do a song related to food. And I called up my friend Kelvin Kisoon, who wrote the song. I gave him the ideas and concepts, and then he wrote the lyrics. And then I came to New York to do something that month, and I said, Rose, guess what? I'm going to be doing a song, She's like, yeah, right. You serious? And with so said, so done, I came back. I went into Maha Studios. Rishi Maha, too large up to Rishi. And Rishi did the music for it. It was produced by him and KI. KI said, if you're doing this, we have to do it well. I would stick by you. I would not leave your side. And so said, so done,
Right.
It was 3 of us. We went there, and in a matter of 3 days, we did the song together. I was so pleased with it. And people were amazed that I actually came up with it. But yes, when I was in Miami, chutney brought me a lot of happiness because I missed my culture a lot. And I really wanted to come back home. And the music was so vivacious, pulsating. And I said, I love this music. And when I came back home, it was something that I always listened to. I got abreast of all the artists because chutney went through a huge paradigm shift within the past 10 years, especially with the artists. They elevated the content that they were speaking about as compared to the traditional chutney of yesteryear. We had the whole shift of chutney soca now. And the merging of both genres together became something so new and so fresh. And I loved it.
Right.
And in addition to that, the English was actually involved in the music rather than just Hindi. And you could group it because sometimes some people say, well, I'm not understanding what's going on, I can't really group to something, but having a little English in it brought some happiness to me and say yes and so on. So I did a song. I came up, I called it Bubble With Me because I have a show with B Mobile called Bubble With Us. And I said, you know what, that's the brand right there, Bubble, let's spin off of that. So I said Bubble With Me, and that's how it came about. And it was just done out of kicks, happiness, being a happy guy, a glad guy, and then it just blew up. And then people asked for a video. The video is on YouTube. It's called Chef Jason, Bubble With Me. And lo and behold, people are asking for another one. So in the next three weeks, I launch the Big Bomb.
In 3 weeks.
3 weeks, I launched the Big Bomb at the end of
Brand
October.
new song.
Brand new one, man.
Stephen, you were saying that you enjoy his songs. Look out, in the next 3 weeks, he will be launching and releasing another song. And this particular one, Bubble With Me, the video and this song went hand in hand. People love the music. They'll even love the video. It was done so professional.
I think the video really pushed the thing. I was just looking at a status from George Singh, who is the pioneer in Chutney Soca production in Trinidad and Tobago in terms of producing the Chutney Soca Monarch. And he said that how next year is going to have a category for best chutney video. And he said it helps to elevate the level of our music because a lot of people don't hold chutney music in high esteem. I believe it's a genre that has huge potential once we have correct guidance, and I believe that he is tailoring it very well. And he said next year there'll be a category for it, and I wanted to do a video so people could see chutney music in a different sign rather than the traditional going down by the river and beating a pot and a bottle and so forth.
You told a story.
I told a story, and what was so amazing about the song is that it related to me. I didn't go and sing about any sort of, my woman horn. Because I don't get horn. I'm Chef Jason. I just do the horning. But it related to cooking. And people saw that, this is a chef. He's singing a song about cooking, but he infused a little bit of the chutney soca vibe inside of it. And I think that's what made it so successful.
And Matt was asking, where can I taste some of your cooking and what restaurant? Matt, look at the video, Bubble With Me, and you would see clips of the kitchen.
Yes.
Chef Jason works.
Back in Trinidad and Tobago, we have almost the equivalent of Food Network, where I work. It's called Fanatic Kitchen Studio.
Right.
And we do my shows are shot from there. All the 4 shows that I've done are shot from there, the 4 seasons that is. And I do events there as well, and you see how beautiful it's a lounge studio, so it's wired for acoustics and so forth. So I work out of there doing a lot of private parties and so forth. In addition to that, I am a food stylist and I do a food consultancy also. I am actually going to be working on a culinary show in Canada shortly. I've been taken on that job. So I don't particularly work in any restaurant. I've given that up within the past 5 years because rather than that was stifling me. And I believe chefs have to spread their wings and do new things rather than just being in the back of the house sweating and killing themselves for a meager salary. We gotta innovate what we do as chefs and show the creativity and the imagination. And if you look at pioneers in the field of entertainment and cooking, such as Bobby Flay and Jada De Laurentiis and all these guys from Food Network, they have taken their brand to another step. And we gotta just think outside of the box. Just because you're a chef doesn't mean that you have to just stay behind there and slave. Yes, you have to have the education and the know-how and the reputation and the experience of knowing how to cook. But there's so much you can do by thinking out of the box. And that's what I do. I dabble in everything that is culinary related.
Absolutely. So, well, speaking of which, we've got a question coming up for you. And Shivani's saying that, hey, chef, what advice would you give someone who wants to get into hospitality management field, not exactly into the cooking portion? And then she went on to say, I'm a food lover and I do cook, but I want to work behind the scenes when it comes to food. It is the reason I choose to do that, and I'm not confined to just one area. I know when it comes to food, there's like a million areas to work with. What do you need to do, Chef Jason? What you need to do, Chef Jason, is to get on the Food Network. She wants you to get on the Food
Well,
Network.
you see, Shivani, if you were listening for the past 5 minutes there, I was speaking. Our field is so wide, and once you find a niche, you could actually break into it. Hospitality management deals with more or less with the hotel management and more or less the runnings of any hospitable lounge, whether it be a hotel or maybe a guest house or so forth like that. She likes the cooking, she said, but she's not into too much. First and foremost, this is not a career that you get into or you decide to do. It takes a lot of pondering, cogitation. You got to think about it because once you go into it, you got to give it your all. And hospitality management is one of those careers that once you do it to the best of your ability and you love it and you're passionate about it, you'll do very well in it. I would always suggest that you do a course first and understand what hospitality management is all about. Back in Trinidad and Tobago, I used to lecture at the Trinidad and Tobago Hospitality and Tourism Institute, which is a hospitality school.
Yes,
and
in your early 20s, he was a lecturer. How
yes, that was
cool
pretty
is
good.
that?
And we would beseech onto the students that this is something that you got to train for properly. So I would ask Shivani to more or less do courses in hospitality management to understand what it is about, because the hours of working and just more or less knowing what is expected of you, it could be quite grueling at times. Yes, you're on your feet, you work long hours. Breaking into the industry, you work at a more or less for a meager salary until you build a reputation. And in any job, you got to start off and then work your way up. So it takes, I would say, do a lot of research. If you want to get into it further, definitely get into the education as everything is pivotal. Further it that way, and then venture off into a job. Because when you do hospitality management, you touch a little bit on the cooking, but really the running of a hotel is very important. It's more management skill oriented. So yes, you got to learn the different accounting and the bookkeeping and all these different things with it, and knowing how to book and market the hotel that you're doing. And it all intertwines. It all intertwines.
Thank you so much. And Shivani, hopefully you got some great insights there. And you could always message him on Facebook as well, Chef Jason Peru. Actually, on Facebook is just Jason Peru.
It's just Jason Peru on Facebook, but all my other social media handles, Twitter, at Chef Jason Peru, Instagram, at Jason Peru, YouTube, at Jason Peru, and Periscope, at Chef Jason.
All right. And lovely listeners, continue sending your questions for Chef Jason Peru. He is happy to answer them. And as I said, pertaining to food, even better, let us know, exactly what you're thinking of, what you need that help in. And sometimes, you a little thing as baking a cake, maybe you might wonder, you might have questions on it. So please, no questions is off limit. You can ask him anything that you wish. So we're going to play his song, Bubble With Me, and ad-libs by K.I.
Yeah. Produced by K.I. and Maha.
Produced by K.I. and Maha Studio Production. Let's bubble. And that's right, lovely listeners. We are just living it up. The only way to live, right? Living life to the fullest. Once again, I want to say good afternoon going on to all of you locked on. Hey, Steven. How are you? Want to remind you guys, yes, Chef Jason is in the studio and all questions are off limits. You can ask him anything. Send us your shouts. Jason, and we are talking
Yo.
about any and anything, any and everything. And as I said, you guys can ask Chef Jason whatever it is you need, and we have questions coming in pertaining to food.
You said whatever they need. Next thing someone mentions, they say, Chef Jason, could you come and build me a cupboard, please?
Now I've got a question for you. What if someone, don't like to cook, but they have to cook?
If someone, well, Mario Chef.
I'm talking about me, right? I hate to cook.
No, but you're doing pretty well at it, based upon what I'm seeing in the videos
Yeah.
and so forth. Like, again, being under the tutelage of a good chef, I guess, is really rubbing off on you, I guess.
Once you get into it and you have everything you need in the kitchen, I think it could become a good, efficient kind
One
of...
thing about it is that it's a rewarding thing because a lot of people muster up the courage to take a recipe or just be creative and go into the kitchen. And then at the end, when they see that it comes out pretty good, it gives them that sort of esteem.
You know what? Speaking of which, what really shocked me is that when I made that pumpkin puree that you told me, I don't like pumpkin pies. I like pumpkin and roti, that's about it. But pumpkin pies, pumpkin bread, not a lover of it. But I said, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot.
Mm-hmm.
And when you told me to marinate the pumpkin and the cream, and I tasted it over the tilapia when I baked it, I was shocked. I was shocked at the taste. It was so magnificent.
It's really baffling sometimes, and I just really have to stay humble at it because the thing is, the things I take for granted sometimes in terms of just making a simple sauce, such as that pumpkin cream sauce that you speak about, it seemed rather exotic or lavish to some individuals because it's something that I make all the time. But when they see that you take a common ingredient like pumpkin, and rather than just eat it with just roti or fried up or whatever the case may be,
my thing was I don't like it in any other type of way, just with...
But that's the thing what I'm saying.
But
is
it
that
tasted so
that's what
good.
That's what I'm saying. They can't imagine that something else could be done so awesome to it.
Yeah.
And when other than what they're accustomed to.
Yeah.
So food is all about experimentation
I'm glad
and
I
getting
did.
involved. And it is rewarding because
And my mom loved it too.
when you taste it, you'll be
Yeah.
like, wow. It's like eating
I'm
pumpkin
like,
for the
this
first
is
time.
pumpkin? No, it tasted delicious. We've got a question here coming from Joanne, and she's saying, "Hi, chef. I love currants roll, and I made it at home, but I need to know what other filling I need to put inside."
Hey Joanne, currants roll, a very popular pastry back home in Trinidad and Tobago and other countries. Currants roll, the main ingredient, currants. It's like smaller raisins. You got to marinate those currants very well. Just like when we make black cake, how you treat the fruits with different spices and so forth, and even alcohol. I suggested when you're making it, you take the currants and you put it into like maybe a jar. Put maybe flavorings, things like essence, cherry brandy, maybe alcohol. If you don't want to put alcohol inside, there are many of flavoring essences that you can use inside there. Put maybe things like nutmeg, cinnamon, bark, and let it marinate for a period of time.
I'm drooling.
Maybe for like a week, and you want to infuse the flavor. Maybe it could be more because when people are making black cake, they put fruits to soak since July for December, and the idea is to infuse those currants as best as you can with flavor profiles inside of it.
Joanne, are you getting all of this? We can even try to write it down and put it on my site.
And the
That'd be great.
pastry is a different thing. I mean, once you understand how to make the pastry, you roll it out and put flavorings into the pastry itself too. So things like maybe putting things like maybe a slight bit of ginger, even cinnamon, nutmeg inside there works very well. That is the powder. So you have flavors that are riddled all the way through.
Right.
You have it in the pastry as well as in the filling. And then when you roll it up, you put your filling in, that is the currants inside, and you roll it up and so forth like that. A little bit of brown sugar works very well also. That's just to bring in some caramelization. So it's all about learning the basic one in terms of what you would have read in a book and then putting your different spin on it, because what I've given you is just my spin on it. You don't traditionally soak currants with alcohol, but me personally, I like it because it just adds that depth and that flavor inside of it. So experiment with things like cherry brandy, vanilla essence. You could use things like what is this other essence? I forgot the name of it. Aniseed. Aniseed essence is so good. Up to yesterday, I was speaking to someone about it in Chief at Maracas because
Can you
Chief
spell that?
Aniseed, Aniseed,
Okay.
and it's a sweet licorice sort of flavor. If you're familiar with the flavors of Morbi, which is a
Yes.
Trinidadian drink,
Yeah.
that spice is actually used in Morbi.
Okay.
So once we understand what we like to drink and eat, let's borrow flavors from it. So aniseed is a spice that is in Mobi. Why can't we not borrow that and put it into our marinade when we're doing our currants? And that's all about creativity and putting your extra spin on stuff.
Imagination, Joanne. I hope that answered your question. Guys, keep the questions coming. And Gil, if you're hurry for curry.
Welcome.
Well, here this Matt in Fort Myers. Can I get that master chef share his recipe for curry conchs?
Curry conchs. I love conchs, you know.
Yeah.
Back in Trinidad or throughout the islands, we call it lambi.
Lambi, okay.
And it's a bit of a pain to take out of the shell, nevertheless. But when you get it out, a lot of people would say that they would pressure it first. The older the conchs, because it's a mollusk, you have to pressure it because it's really hard. It's rubbery. But once you pressure it and it gets soft, then you could curry it. You could do coconut curry with it. You could do a traditional garam masala curry or even the chief brand curry that I use. Me particularly, when I'm doing curry, I like to get the pot really hot. I add oil. I use garlic, ginger, onions, all minced, and I saute it into the oil. You gotta get those aromatics done. Then after I would put maybe like about a ratio of equal proportions of maybe 2 tablespoons of curry, 1 tablespoon of jeera, 1 tablespoon of garam masala. Garam masala is so important in curry. And you would then cook that into the oil a little while, for a little bit. And when you do that, it's like parching the curry. Don't be afraid to parch the curry. People say let it burn. Yeah, in essence it is what it is. But leave it for maybe like about 2 or 3 minutes until it gets really charcoal black. And then you add your water to it. And then you gotta cook the curry because you gotta dissolve the grains of the curry in the water. If you don't dissolve the grains, it becomes very grainy and granular, and it could hurt your belly. So you gotta cook the curry, and then you add your pre-cooked conchs to it, and then you mix it up and you cover it down. At the last part, when it's nearly done, maybe like about 20-25 minutes later on, fresh seasonings, garlic, chive, shadow, benny inside there.
Oh,
You could put seasonings in the beginning when you're cooking it, but I like the vitality and the vivacious flavors that fresh seasonings give at the end. So things like shadow benny are more worthy. Celery side when placed at the end, so you could actually taste the freshness.
Oh my gosh, Matt, I'm coming over for dinner. Make sure you cook some curry conchs, okay? And Matt is saying, Rose, did I miss here? Did you cook? Yes, Matt, I did. And Jason, I think all the curry is done from last night. Did you get a chance to bring it home?
I did a crate of chicken last night.
No, the actual curry powder.
The curry powder, no.
If you don't have any?
They took all last night. Everybody was so fond of the curry that I gave out samples. But I told them that available in tri-state area here in New York, you can get it. Liberty, Richmond, and so forth. But even in Florida, you could get it in the West Indian stores because Chief has a market there in Florida also. So you go ask for it by name, Chief Brand Curry. There's Chief Brand Garam Masala, Chief Brand Jeera, also known as what we know as cumin. We call it Jeera back home, but those integral spices are very important in a good West Indian curry.
Nice. And Shivani, I saw your question. Chef Jason will definitely be answering that shortly. And guys, if you're now joining in, welcome. It is Rose, Chef Jason, visiting from Trinidad. He's here until tomorrow, and he came in for the Chutney Music Festival yesterday. And it was a great lineup of different artists.
By all means, yeah.
K.I. and the band was there.
K.I. was there, my boys, yeah.
Lal, Nishad M. and
Vikash,
Vikash Sahade.
K-Rich.
K-Rich.
All those
It
guys were
was
there.
just an amazing lineup, and I was so shocked to see the turnout.
Yes.
I'm not sure if it's because it was not properly promoted, if people were scared of the hurricane, but for an insane lineup like that, I thought the crowd, the place would have been packed. Nevertheless, as these artists would, what they usually do is give it their all.
They deliver despite whatever the case may be.
Or 100 or 1,000, they did their best.
I was really pleased to see all those guys came out with their A came in. I mean, Vikash, K-Rich did an amazing job.
As usual.
And of course, with all the hype and splendor that when K.I. and the band came on, everybody just wanted to break down the stage. And again, that's the aura that K.I. and the band brings. And they pelted out all the hits, and they enjoyed all the great food that I produced also.
And listen, no joke, I feel, and I'm not being biased, you were the star of the show yesterday. I remember I went to grab a drink by the bar, and I'm looking at you, I'm looking at everyone coming up to shake your hand, take pictures, the girls are around you, and they were so intrigued by you, and I said, yes, he delivered, he's here to endorse Chief, he's here to cook, and Chief were the grand sponsor yesterday, and you did your thing, and I was happy.
It was
to
great
see the
because, you know, a lot of
reception.
people see me in Trinidad and Tobago in the market there, and they're like, when are we going to taste your food? When they see me
Yeah.
on the show, they see me this, that, and the next.
Yeah.
So they actually see me to come into their area here in our Maracas nightclub and here in the West Indian areas. They were like, he's here. So they came out and they took that opportunity. I want to thank everyone for coming out who came up to the chief booth last night. And I really imparted great words onto them in terms of recipes and how to use the spices and the different ingredients that Chief produced last night here for everyone to take. And thank you so much for the love, man. And they enjoy the food, and that's all I want. That's that grateful happiness that they smile when they eat the food and say, "My God, this thing tastes like." Again, this was going with their accent, and it's like, "This thing tasting good, bye." I said, "Yes, thank you so much." I said, "I love your curry chicken." They say, "No, this is a chicken curry."
And Matt is saying, what a description, chef. I could taste that curry counts. And yes, Rose, stop by. Plus, I got some whole stock to wash it down with.
But what's going on with Matt? Matt.
I need to christen my Like a Boss cup. So yes, thank you so much. That description was
Yeah,
just
and
great.
it's very important that we get people intrigued and involved in the food. So the way that I describe food, it's gotta be, as we say, orgasmic. You gotta get people really satiating them, dribbling and so forth like that. So Matt, it is tasty, and that's how people should speak about food or anything that they're passionate about. That's just raw passion, Matt. Raw passion.
So big out to Matt in Fort Myers. Hello going out to Rohit. Hey Rohit, what's up? How are you? How was your weekend? Want to say hi going out to Parm as well. You met him for the first time yesterday. He sent you a message.
Nice guy. Good. Hey, how you going, Palm? We took some great pictures. Hopefully you post it up on Facebook so we can see what they look like.
And tag us. I'll be reading your message shortly. And lovely listeners, continue sending your shouts. Continue asking Chef Jason questions. He's here to answer it for you. And he is a renowned chef with a ton load of experience and certification too. But you know, the experience and creativity is beyond this world.
By all means.
This next song, he chose it. He loves it. It is by K.I. and the band featuring Nishad and Nival. You know which one I'm talking about?
Well, you know, this is what I jam to in the kitchen because you know why? Let me give them fire.
Oh my gosh, one voice, one sound, BacchanalRadio.com. It's Monday. Shake off those blues. It's one voice, it's one sound, it's BacchanalRadio.com. It is Monday, people, and yes, I am giving you plenty tunes, plenty vibes to just feel so good, so great to start off your week, and hopefully you are feeling it as well. I'm sending my energy towards you, right? So big up to everyone who is at work, locked on, and saying, my gosh, Saturday came, it went fast. Sunday came and it went super fast, and now the week just dragging. That's just life, but you know what? Thank God you got a job and you can pay your bills. Well, sometimes the money's not enough, but at least you got a job.
You know, it was one thing. I now realize why you're the queen of Bacchanal. You seem to understand everyone's scenarios.
Oh wait, I think your mic was off. Sorry.
Oh, my mic was. I was larging you up there, but I guess I'll start back again. I was saying that out. I think that's why you're queen of Bacchanal. You know, you understand everyone's plight and scenario, and you dissect the weeks and even the days, and from Friday, whether it be Saturday, Sunday, because Monday it's kind of hard to go to work, but
Yeah,
to have you on and to have you bless the airways right now,
Yeah.
I'm sure you're putting a lot of smiles on everyone's face because
well, hopefully everyone, you know, they can be smiling, and as I said, I'm sending my positive energy.
that's important.
Everyone,
because you won't believe that sometimes when we empower individuals just by our voice, whether it be vocal or even just by showing up in their presence, it does a lot for the whole demeanor of someone, and whether you do it through music or being a host or so forth like that, it really does inspire people and put a smile on their face, because sometimes we may not be able to enjoy moments all the time, good moments all the time, because they're always downs, but whatever we could do to enlighten individuals and put a smile on their face, and whatever medium we have in our life, whether it be if we sell food, whether we use our hands to construct something,
right?
Whether you use your voice to bring smiles on their ways, that's positivity right there, Rose. And this is what life is about. Very, very important that we put smiles on people's faces. And the world has enough hatred inside of it, and we have to do as much as we can to try to eliminate it. And I do that, what I do in terms of my skill and my art, and put smiles on people's faces by bubbling.
Well, that was very touching.
Yeah.
And, you know, I want to say hi going out to DJ Roy's better half, Hema. She's locked on at work. She actually chose the topic for last Friday's show. She sent in 3. I chose 1. And it worked out very, very well. So big up to Hema, a.k.a. Miss Tyga, who you can catch right here on BacchanalRadio.com every Sundays from 12 to 3 o'clock. She and DJ Roy host the Ghana session. So big up to Hema, who is sort of busy at work now and again when she gets a chance.
She's logging on ever so often. Big up to Hema.
Yeah, so big up to Hema at work. And guys, keep on sending your shout outs. We want to know what you up to, how you feeling, how's your day, and most importantly, send in your questions for Chef Jason Peru. And hopefully you're dancing.
I was dancing during the break. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I wanted to film that and put it up. And by the way, he almost fall as well. He's so intrigued by this the segue.
Rose has this segue hoverboard that she's playing with since this morning. And during the break, I'm just waiting because I'm just gonna jump on it and just play around with it. Yes, I nearly fell just now.
Yeah, he almost fall. But please fall after the show.
If you don't hear my voice after the break, it's because I'm probably on the ground lying down.
We need you until 3 o'clock, okay? So please, stick around.
Okay, boss.
It is Rose, it is Chef Jason, and so happy to be in your company. Let's hear those